first question?
What's that?
That's your first question?
Unless you have an opening remark.
No, I have no opening remark. Our spring depth is pretty good. You know, I'm looking forward. We got 2 veterans coming back with Kevin Dorsey and Kerry Boykins, which I'm really happy and pleased with how they've been working so far this winter, being leaders. So those 2 guys we're going to depend on them a lot, you know, for leadership, especially in my group, being a young group that we have. But I think I'm pretty pleased with so far how winter conditioning is going. Even with the young guys, I think they are coming along and they're working hard. And I think especially Marcus Leak. Marcus Leak has been doing a real good job so far, you know, this winter. You know, he's won a couple events and competitions that we have at winter conditioning, right after winter conditioning. Nigel King is doing a real good job. You know, he's getting better, you know, with a year off last year. Obviously, he's a little bit behind the other guys, you know, because he could not work out with us, he could not practice, so he's a little behind getting in shape-wise, physically. He's a little bit behind, but he's been working hard, trying to catch up to the other guys. So I think our depth is going to be pretty good. You know, Devin Burns is doing a real good job too. Also, I got to mention him. He's doing a real good job being a leader, working hard too. You know, he's probably one of the older guys. He's going to be a sophomore, but he's one of the older guys. So I'm pretty excited about our depth right now. You know, at receivers and how they're working.
I'm sorry, I meant depth chart. Sorry
oh,
about that. Sorry.
Okay.
But you got Dorsey and Boykins your starters.
Yeah, right now, Dorsey and Boykins are starters, and then after that, you know, it's wait and see. You know, it's going to be a competition. You know, for with the other guys, even you know, Boykins and Dorsey's going to get pushed. Some of the young guys are doing a real good job. I think they're hungry. I know they see that they have opportunities to play because we don't have a lot of upperclassmen, just those 2. So those guys are working hard. So it's going to be a great competition this spring.
When you have a season like last year where it just seemed like drops were a quarter by quarter thing, how do you regroup that bunch in an off season and try to put that out of mind in a lot of ways?
Well, I don't dwell on the past. I mean, that's one thing. You know, being a receiver and playing the position, I know you got to have short memories. You can't dwell on the past. You know, obviously those guys understand that they had some drops, but I'm not dwelling on that. You know, we're moving forward. You know, the emphasis this winter is getting on the jug machines, getting with the quarterback, throwing balls, getting a rapport with them. I think a lot of it is it's a new system. It was a new system, so those guys were kind of trying to adjust. We had, you know, a couple of our key guys that we were counting on to be playmakers missed some few games, so we had to put in some younger guys, you know, and they got in the limelight. So I know that they now had that taste of, you know, playing time, so hopefully that benefits us. But there's a big emphasis right now of them being on the jug machines, catching 500 tennis balls a week, you know, so that's big, and getting with CJ and making sure they get a rapport with the quarterback.
When you add someone like a Diggs, what does he bring to the table, skill-wise, and what are the expectations there as a freshman?
Well, obviously, you know, he brings, you know, some excitement to the table. You know, he's explosive. You know, he's a playmaker. My expectations of him is just to come in, learn the offense, and we as coaches gotta find a way to fit him in with the rest of the guys. You know, I don't put, you know, he is a freshman, so I'm not gonna put, you know, the burden of the world on him to come in and be our savior. I want him to be able to grow, be able to, you know, feel comfortable in the system, because if you're not comfortable and you got too much pressure on you to make plays and do certain things, you're not going to produce. So, you know, my expectations of him is to come in, learn the playbook, and just be himself, be the playmaker that he is.
How would you describe Nigel? Since I really have never seen him play, what does he bring?
Well, Nigel's long, 6'3" guy. He's got great length. He has great hands. He can go up and he can high point the ball. So his reception area is huge. He should be a red zone threat for us because of his height and his length. For being a tall guy, he does have good speed. He's not Torrey Smith speed, but he's got good speed where he can beat you deep, and so he's got a lot of skill sets that for a tall kid. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited to work with him because it's really going to be the first time I get a chance to work with him, and see exactly what he can do. But I think he's got a lot of upside.
Lee, Marcus Lee, what do you like from him? What's his ceiling? What's his potential?
I think the sky's the limit for Marcus. I really do. He's got a little taste, what it's like to play in the ACC. Got a foot wet last year, but he's a big, strong, physical kid. He's 6'1" ish, and he's around 205 pounds, and he can run. He's very, very powerful. So he brings some physicalness, to our receiving corps. He's got really good hands, and I know he dropped some balls last year. But again, that's just being a freshman, having freshman jitters. So I'm hoping that that's over with him, and that now everybody can see what he really can do. But I think, he has some real upside.
And where's Dorsey now, health-wise, overall, his whole package?
Dorsey's fine. Obviously, he's probably going to be out for the first couple of practices, but we expect him back, for most of spring ball. So I think, he should be fine, come August, and be 100%. And so I expect a big year out of him. I know he's very excited about this year. It's his senior year. He was a little disappointed in last year, and he's got a lot to prove. So I know he's been working hard, and he's ready to go.
Does he have a new injury, or what's he missing spring for the first? Just carry over. Just the same stuff, that he had, through the season, little ham, little knee stuff. So, it's nothing. I mean, he's fine. Again, I said it's just more, he'll be back for spring ball. He'll be ready to go. We're just going to see where he is. Obviously, he's an important part of what we do. So we're just more than anything just being cautious, I guess you would say.
With Boykins, how important a piece is he for next season, and what are you specifically looking for him to develop maybe a little bit more this year to learn about his game?
He brings some toughness too. He's a guy that you can play at all three positions. He's very smart. He's always in the right place. All right. He's going to do exactly what you want him to do. If you watch the games last year, he was our third down guy. So when we went on third down, he got the ball. So that shows you the confidence that we have in him. I just want him to be a leader. Like I said, him and Dorsey are two older guys. So I expect a lot of him to be a leader, to show the young guys the ropes. Carey's always been a guy you can rely on, never been a list guy, very dependable, very respectful kid. The players look up to him because of that. So I just expect him to do the same thing he did last year. Just go out, be that common force for the receiver group, because we're going to be young and we're going to have our ups and downs. And, he's like a coach on the field for me that, if I don't see something, he can correct it. And he's been doing that a lot this winter, too, is really correcting the guys. I can see him when I'm correcting somebody, he has somebody else over on the side trying to correct them and get them straight. So I expect him to be a leader and go out and produce and do the things he has been doing for 4 years now.
Who else do you like in the overall freshman signing class? I know you signed several receivers that you recruited. Who else is jumping out beyond Diggs that could be?
I think all three guys that we recruited can help us this year. You know, obviously we all know about Diggs and the skill set that he brings, but also, you know, you have Amba, you know, and Amba again is a tall, long guy. You know, he's 6'3"-ish type guy, long arms. You know, and one thing that I liked about him was the fact that I saw him go up and high point the ball. His deep ball is unbelievable. And that's what attracted me to him. You know, he's a fast guy and get down the field, stretch the field vertically, but he goes up and gets the ball. Again, he could be another red zone threat to us. You know, Malcolm King, our camp, did a great job, ran 4.4 flat, you know, on 6 watches, you know, 2 different times. So he has a lot of speed, you know, that he brings to the table. He can catch the ball and accelerate. And that's one thing I liked about him in camp was when he got the ball, he could accelerate and be at full speed in 2 or 3 steps. And that's what he brings is that acceleration and that another get. He has tremendous speed. So it's going to be, you know, obviously with all 3 of them, it's going to be coming in and learning the playbook. You know, the reason why freshmen don't play a lot most of the time or play later in their first year is because of the playbook. You know, and it's going to be important that those 3 guys come in and learn the playbook because they're going to have opportunities to come in and compete. You know, because they're not too far removed from the rest of the guys. Because like I said, I got all freshmen and sophomores, so you know they're going to come in and have opportunity to come in and play. And obviously, with us having a new system, this is going to be the first time the guys that are here, you know, they're going to be a little bit ahead of those guys because they had spring ball, but they're not going to be too far ahead of them.
And how do you like the new system?
I love it. You know, I think it's going to fit, you know, our personnel. You know, it's a no huddle, you know, component to it. You know, but I think, you know, it's a system where we can get ourselves into the right play. You know, Coach Losley's going to control that from the booth and making sure that we get the right play called. So I really like what we're doing so far.